back to the channel. Today is the final day of race week and it's been a lot of fun. So what I'm doing today is I'm leaving my house, getting back on the route. Pretty much have to take Highway 50 to Penrose 115, then take a right, go to Springs, but I need to warm the Magnum up. So let's get on the road. It's actually almost 9, so I was gonna leave at 8, but it shouldn't really matter. It's not that long of a drive today, and we're just going back to Bandimere, do some runs. Hopefully, you know, last time at Bandimere I did a 13.6. Maybe I could get in 13.5s and be more consistent in the 13.5 range. A little bit away from that, you know, 13.0, but it is at altitude. I don't have launch control, etc., or slicks, anything like that. So I think it's been consistent this whole time. In Nebraska and Kansas, it was getting near the 13.0s, but it was a lot lower elevation. So let's get on the road, get to the track, and have some fun today. To make it to the first checkpoint, and it's Garden of the Gods. We still need to go, I think, through here, which will, I guess, lead to Bandimere. They said that there's going to be a lot of actual ups and downs, which my car really doesn't matter, but a lot of drag cars, I guess, they don't have, their trainings don't actually decel them, they just freewheel. So I'm going to continue going, and hopefully I get there. I'll probably get there around 2 or so, and then I could have some lunch. Races don't start till around 4:30. So these homies right here were giving out free drinks. Hell yeah, guys. Props. Just got to the track, just had some lunch, and now it's about time to do our first runs, me and Trevor. Trevor got here a little bit later than I did. I left a little bit earlier, like 45 or so minutes. But yeah, hopefully the Magnum could do like a 13.5 is where I'm gonna kind of say I'm gonna be at today with the tires that are on it and kind of the altitude. That's we're doing 13.6 last time we were in Vandermeer, like 7 days ago. In line to do my first run at Vandermeer. We're gonna see how heavy the Magnum is.
Out of the all-throw race team, that SS 1474.
Ooh, she's a heavy girl, 4,400 pounds.
I got a turbo or something. I haven't looked at it closely, but it's too fast for, you know, what
it's not that heavy, but still pretty heavy. We just ran a
the Camaro
13.659, which is pretty much the same we've been running in Denver.
Jerry and I all coming out back there in the right lane. We've got the tailgate now, so we're getting serious. Left lane from Lincoln, Nebraska. Jerry in that 1405 goes 1406. Pueblo back around. Jerry currently sits number 4 in that class. Josh McShane, the right lane. That's David Nenno in the left lane.
Just pulling up to do my third pass. My second pass was a little bit slower than my first pass, but I found something out. I thought when you pressed the Super Track Pack button, it put it in, you know, a special mode, but I guess it just brings up the display. And to get the engine in sport mode and everything, you still have to push sport. So I'm gonna do that this time around and see if it's any faster. I don't know, it should be. I made like 5 runs today. This is gonna be my final run. The last run I pretty much just spun. They just prepped the track, so we'll see what happens, and then I'll just pick the best slip out of all the runs today. Finished the pass, and it's actually my highest mile an hour, which is 104. And it was a 13.52, which isn't bad for this altitude and not using a launch control, etc. I've said this thing a million times already, but I'm gonna turn the slip in. I made, I don't know, like 7 runs today, which I really didn't have anyone to film, so I only have, I think, 1 run, and it was one of the earlier ones, which I think that was still a 13.6, which isn't horrible. So turn this in and then just kind of be, you know, I finished race week, which is awesome. I mean, it was a long drive for the Magnum, which I only put like maybe 150 to 200 miles on before the whole decision to actually run it, and it did very well. So I'm very happy. Gonna hang out now and have some fun. Now that Rocky Mountain Race Week is over, I'm going to take the Magnum back over to the junkyard and then bring the Hellcat home. I also need to stop by Ford and grab a new tranny filter for my truck and tranny fluid. So in the next video, I'm gonna be doing the brakes on my truck, the front brakes, the tranny fluid, engine oil, and get it ready for the trip to New York to grab all the parts for the 2021 Dodge Charger Magnum, which I wanna get this thing finally started, get all the body panels, get it going so the body is completely finished. And then I can start working on the drivetrain and engine, because that's gonna be its own process in itself. At the junkyard, just pulled the Hellcat off the lift and then put the Magnum on there, just so I could look underneath it and see if anything came loose, anything like that. But I was gonna bring the Hellcat to Pueblo, the Pueblo drag strip, and I asked the guy and he said it was okay, but then there wasn't really enough time to really do it, because it would take me like an hour to get the Hellcat off the lift, the Magnum back on the lift. Then I would have had to come back down and actually swap them again. So I ended up not doing it. But when I told him, I was like, yeah, I'm driving the Magnum instead of the Hellcat, he gave me like this funny look, like, you know, when people make like fib about the cars they have. But yeah, I actually do have a Hellcat out there. She's just chilling right there in the junkyard. But yeah, let's look under here and see if anything came loose. Just looking over everything underneath the car, everything looks fine. It doesn't look like any leaks. Even the oil filter, there's no leaks around it or anything like that. So I think I'm I think it made it. I think there's no issues that really, I didn't have really any concerns. Took it down the drag strips quite a few times. The only real concern I had with taking it down the drag strip, and it wasn't really a concern, was when I started my runs off each time, you had to wait in line. One run, there wasn't anybody in line, just pulled up, got in line, got on the strip, got lined up, went down the track, and the car felt way faster. And I think I know exactly what was happening. I checked my IATs, and that run, when I started off, my IATs were like 118. And then going down the track, they go down drastically to like, 90 or 89 or something like that. But yesterday when I was at Bandemere, I just happened to put it on the IAT thing, the gauge, and when I went through the line and then got up to the line, my IATs starting off were like 150, 140, 150, like 160, which is crazy hot. And when it is that hot, the ECU is going to pull whatever it needs to, so the engine doesn't knock. These engines, I believe, are higher compression. So then it felt a lot slower. So what I think is contributing to this issue is, so the airbox sucks in from right here, this hole, which I haven't put any of the shielding. There's supposed to be a shield right here. What I think is happening is when I'm sitting at the line waiting to go, it's sucking all of the air coming off of the radiator back into the airbox, which is making it that, 140, 150, 160 IATs. And something that I'm planning on doing is this hole right here in the bumper. I'm going to actually cut it out and make this an intake up to this hole, which will give me nice cool intake air temp. And then over here I'm going to do the same thing, because I'm going to add the Hellcat external oil cooler, and then I could have this going to the oil cooler, which will drastically drop my oil temps, drastically drop my intake air temps, and I think it will just help out a lot with my times being more consistent, because from run to run, it just depended on how long I sat in line. I would get a 13, I went from like a 13.7 with really hot IATs and really didn't change much, and then got a 15.1, which or not 15.1, a 13.51, went from a 13.7 like 5 or something to a 13.51 with just 20 degree cooler IATs. So I need to probably resolve this issue. I didn't think about it before I left. I left on this trip on just kind of a whim. I was like, well, I have the Hellcat, I have the Magnum. I'd rather drive the Magnum. The Hellcat would have been fun, but the Magnum was a lot of fun as well. It held its own. The Hellcat would have too, but I think this is just more, I built this car, I built the Hellcat, but this is more of, something that I like to do. I like to make things work that really wasn't supposed to. I mean, the Magnums aren't supposed to have all this technology on them, but this one does. So I'm gonna end the video here, take the Hellcat home. When I go home, like I said, I'm gonna grab some fluid for my truck, get ready for the trip, so we can finish the Charger, the 2021 Charger Magnum, which, if you're new to the channel and haven't seen this project, I'm building the 2021 station wagon of a Charger, wide body, Hellcat, all-wheel drive. But that's the end of this video. If you like these videos, click the subscribe button, throw a thumbs up, throw a comment below, and as always, see you guys next time.